His brains are on the floor.
Oh, cool. So we're already at that episode. I was kind of hoping that they'd stretch it out. Welcome back to Blake's World, where we're breaking down Season 2, Episode 2 of The Last of Us, where golf clubs are now banned in 37 states.
We'll pass worse laws.
Episode 2 just dropped, and if you're wondering why your heart feels like it just got hit by a semi-truck of emotions, don't worry, that's normal. So hit like, subscribe, and comment like it's your favorite form of vengeance. This episode is insane on every level, so I'll stop with the jokes for now. All right, let's get to it. We open with an alarm and Abby in full grief hallucination mode walking through the Salt Lake City hospital where her father died. She's moving like she already knows what she's going to find, but she can't help but going in there anyways. And just to make it worse, another version of Abby appears. You know, just kind of like dream logic, and says, "Don't go in there." But of course she does. Because if Trauma had a mascot, her name would be Abby Anderson, and inside is her dad's corpse.
His brains are on the floor.
You can tell that to her, the weight of that moment is just hanging there like a broken light fixture. This isn't just a dream, it's her subconscious screaming, "Please, undo all of this." This dream sequence mirrors The Last of Us Part 2's quiet flashbacks to the hospital and Abby's memories of her father's death, showing how her trauma drives her every action from this point on. She wakes up gasping in a cold mountain ski lodge surrounded by her adopted Firefly family. From the balcony, they can see Jackson in the distance. It's so close that it's almost creepy. Abby is locked in. She has complete tunnel vision. She wants Joel bad, but the rest of the crew, they're kind of almost done. They're only here because they promised her. Not for justice, not for murder. It's just an obligation at this point. And now that they've gotten this close, they're starting to kind of panic. No one really wants blood. They just want to go home. Except for Abby. And let's be real, Abby and Ellie are the same emotionally imploded protagonists in different fonts. Ellie, fueled by trauma, sarcasm, and now the smell of weed. Abby, fueled by trauma, vengeance, and 7 scoops of pre-workout or whatever they give you in the Fireflies. Both lost a parent, both were robbed of closure, and both are slowly becoming everything that they hate. Abby storms off solo to scout ahead, and the second she's gone, her guys are like, "Okay, she's gone, so what if we just didn't do murder anymore and went home?" Back in Jackson, Jesse pulls up for Ellie's 8 a.m. patrol shift. She looks like she hasn't slept in a week. The tension is high because word's already spread about the fight at the New Year's party, because nothing moves faster than post-apocalyptic gossip. Meanwhile, someone finds a fresh pile of infected out in the valley, which is not normal. That means that someone else is out there and they're stirring things up. Ellie, hoping to maybe fix her fractured relationship with Joel, tries to set up a patrol with him because she wants to talk things out. But apparently he left earlier with her new maybe girlfriend Dina. Because when you're immune to the cordyceps virus, the only thing left to be infected by is complicated feelings. They stop in Jackson's restaurant where Tommy's delivering his version of a doomsday TED Talk. The town is tight-knit, prepped, and ready. If anything happens, the kids and elders go to reinforced basements, and all of the fighters go straight to the rooftop with every gun that they can find. After the meeting, Maria drags Ellie over to talk to Seth. You remember Seth, aka the bigot sandwich guy?
In a church.
He apologizes to Ellie, and to his credit, he genuinely means it, but Ellie shrugs it off like yesterday's news and doesn't forgive him. Not today, probably not ever. Seth's apology is another nod to his role in the game, where he also gives Ellie a sandwich after insulting her.
They're steak.
Out in the wild, Abby spots 2 people on patrol. Her instincts kick in and she's about to pounce. But that's when the storm kicks in, and it's like blizzard mode just got activated. Ellie and Jesse are forced to hunker down in an old 7-Eleven that's been turned into a grow house. Yes, a literal weed bunker. And can you think of a better place to put it than a 7-Eleven? Because I can't. Inside, Ellie finds a Firefly dog tag with the name Eugene, the old man who used to grow the weed and tinker with tech around town. Suddenly, the pieces all connect. Eugene wasn't just Jackson's stoner grandpa, he was a Firefly, and maybe after a while he lost it or he got infected. We're not really sure what happened.
God makes it through a war, end up going out like that.
This grow room is a direct reference to Eugene's hideout in the game, which Ellie and Dina find during one of their first missions in Seattle. Oh, and Eugene, he was the therapist's husband that we learned about in episode 1. The same therapist who's been secretly furious at Joel, and now we know why. She couldn't save her husband either.
Because of how you did it.
Jesse and Ellie get a call saying that Joel isn't answering, and Ellie, being Ellie, just takes off to find him. Cut back to Abby. She's still out in the storm. She slips on the ice and goes full Olympic luge into a ravine, directly into a pile of dormant infected. And they wake up, and they wake up fast. Suddenly, she's surrounded by hundreds. It's a horde, a full-blown nightmare. She runs and she climbs this ladder, but she slips and falls. She's panicking, but she does get away. Finally, Abby reaches this old chain link fence and she continues to run away, but the infected start slamming into the fence. Harder, again and again. The fence starts bending, the metal is squealing, and the entire frame is about to collapse around them. So she just crawls, and one of the runners gets through, and now it's on top of her, and she's definitely done for, and then, bam! Joel shoots the runner. He saves her, and the irony is so thick that it could be bottled. They find a safe room in this factory, and she realizes who she is. He's the man that she came to kill, and he just saved her life. Joel saving Abby is a bitter echo of part 2, where Abby ultimately saves Lev in a similar moment of reversal, both characters trapped in cycles of violence. But the infected are still coming, so she doesn't have time to act on this now, so they flee together, and she says that they should all go to the ski lodge. Back in Jackson, for some reason, the workers are doing maintenance during the storm and accidentally break through that root system we saw in episode 1. And they see the cordyceps, and that means one thing: the horde is now coming here. The network lights up, and what was just a few hundred is now becoming thousands. Tommy's gut says something is wrong. Joel's not answering his walkie, and then all hell breaks loose. Alarm bells ring, infected flood the valley. Jackson braces for what's coming, but they couldn't be ready for this many infected. Tommy takes charge, dropping barrels of gasoline. They shoot the barrels and let the gasoline fill the area. Then they ignite everything. The explosions are massive. The fire rains down, infected burns. Screams echo through the chaos. But it's not enough. The infected are going to get in, especially when they see a bloater. Tommy takes off to warn all of the fighters that are waiting on the rooftops. When the infected break in, Tommy is the only one left standing toe-to-toe with them. Bullets raining down all around him, taking down infected row by row. He straps on a flamethrower. We're gonna call his flamethrower Sparky. But that's when he sees the bloater, and it's heading towards his wife. Bloaters are a high-level enemy class in the game, extremely armored infected that require specific tactics like fire or bombs to take them down. The use of the flamethrower here is straight from the in-game weapon wheel. If you've ever played the game and you have to fight a bloater, you know that you're cursing yourself for every time that you used a bomb or a Molotov cocktail. Anyways, the bloater is headed towards Maria, so what does Tommy do? He charges, he distracts it, and he leads it away. You can see his face turn to the same face that Joel makes. But as he's running, he makes a wrong turn, and now he's trapped. It corners him. He empties Sparky on the bloater, and the flames go everywhere, and it looks like it's just not enough, and he's done for. But the fire takes it down at the very last second, which is a lot like the game. I remember in the first game, whenever you have to run around this gym to stay away from a bloater, but if you have fire, then you can just light it up and just keep your distance. I remember whenever I had to play it, I had just 3 Molotov cocktails, and it wasn't enough, so then I had to go do a little stabby and run, and it took a long time. Like enough that that was like a decade ago, and I still remember having to do that. Tommy runs back out onto Main Street, and he has to feel like it's just hopeless and there's nothing he can do. But while that was happening, Maria ran to the kennels, and then the dogs arrive. 50-ish trained hounds tear through the chaos like divine intervention. They save him, they save Jackson really, and the sad part is I think that they might all be infected now. I don't really know how that works. But anyways, back at the lodge, Joel is worrying about home, but Abby's group turns violent, like the Manson family level violent.
And I'm here to do the devil's business.
They capture Dina and drug her to knock her out. Abby threatens her own squad to keep things moving because this is getting insane. Once Nina is out, they turn to Joel.
Where was the last place you saw the Fireflies?
And Joel, to his credit, answers truthfully.
Salt Lake.
So Abby blows his legs out with a shotgun. Her team wants to just end it, but she wants him alive. She wants him to suffer, and she wants to get her anger out on him. She tells him exactly what he did. 18 Firefly soldiers and 1 surgeon. Her dad, and the nurses said that whenever he did it, he didn't even flinch. Because that day, Joel stopped being a man and started being more of a father. He became a myth, a monster, a dad who chose one life over the world. She grabs an iron out of a golf bag and hits his open wounds on his legs over and over again. Ellie is following the trail, so she's close, but it's going down at the ski lodge. Abby is hitting Joel over and over, and he's barely hanging on. The golf club broke a long time ago, and she's just switched to hitting him with her fists. That's when Ellie bursts in, and she fights, but there's just too many of them. She begs Joel to get up, and he tries, but he's done. Abby swings the golf club one last time, stabbing him in the back of the neck, and Joel dies. Again, this is almost scene for scene to the video game. The golf club death is infamous, and like I said, it's nearly frame for frame adapted from the game, where it became one of the most shocking moments in modern gaming history, except in the game it's more of a smash than a stab. For Ellie, it's silence. No, it's more like a ringing. Everything stops. Her world is just shattered. She never got to say sorry, and Abby stares at what she's done. She doesn't look like she feels better. She looks like she just feels more lost, maybe. And they let Ellie and Dina live because the deal was that they'd only hurt Joel. Ellie clutches Joel's body, maybe waiting for a breath that never comes. And Abby and her team just walk away, changed and maybe hollow from this experience. Back in Jackson, Tommy and his wife survive, but they don't know that everything has changed. Ellie, Dina, and Jesse return, dragging Joel's body behind the horse. And the cycle of vengeance starts again with Ellie.
To be continued.
Hey, thanks for watching. Click here for more videos and subscribe to keep up with all the Blake's World updates. I'd appreciate it. All right, I'll see you next time.